In the 18th century, Europe was undergoing a revolution. Without banners or barricades or bloodshed, it was called the Enlightenment, the Age of Reason. The revolutionaries weren't violent. They were a handful of thinkers and doers, artisans, merchants, scientists, and in one case, all of those things in a single individual. When I was a boy growing up here in the Potteries, Josiah Wedgwood was regarded with awe as the first great artist-industrialist. Wedgwood was a founding father of the Industrial Revolution, with a relentless urge to change science, technology, transport, the welfare of mankind, and the retail experience of society ladies. And he did it all from a muddy village in the middle of nowhere. Achievements that might be better known if it wasn't for his magnificent ceramics. This isn't any creamware. This is Wedgwood creamware. The clarity of colour, the result of some 5,000 glaze tests. This pot represents the kind of ware that will make him a household name around the world. But at 30, all that was yet to come. Brian Dolan is a California professor with a passion for the genius of Burslem.
The creamware that he produced was a much richer and much purer kind of color and texture than anyone had seen before. Now, in addition to that, he made sure that the saucers and the tops of the saucers fit tightly, that everything was proportioned correctly, which originally made him stand out from the others.
Demand was high among the English for minimalist earthenwares that told the neighbours you had good taste. And then a new kind of client emerged who was even more needy. Josiah's creamware was in great demand, but he had to keep improving it. His quest was a glaze the colour of driven snow, something the competition hadn't even considered.
Josiah had a feeling that through more experimentation, he could find that new something that would dazzle everybody. He wanted equal colors around, and he wanted the whole appearance of it to be a brilliant white.
Every variation in glaze and clay was tested and fired in his kilns, recorded in a secret code.
What he finally discovers after toiling for months in the laboratory was just the right formula that he could bake at just the right temperature for just the right amount of time in order for him to get what he calls the good white glaze.
Josiah is this great manufacturer. Bentley was primarily a merchant, wasn't he?
Bentley was actually in Liverpool working as an agent. He was actually very well versed in the ins and outs of the distribution side of the business to the New World, which of course was exactly what Josiah needed to find and as a partner for his business. Josiah was the worker. He was the skilled craftsman. He worked with his hands very successfully, whereas Bentley, on the other hand, was the one who worked with his head.
Thomas Bentley began to manage a showroom somewhere here on Great Newport Street. Later, they opened in Greek Street, Soho, in Mayfair, and in Bath.
Most of the places in London would have been a combination of some presentation of the goods, some stock which would be stored there, and then in the back would be an actual place where they would work on it. Pretty crowded space for these small houses in London. Wedgwood decided that he should display his wares so that once inside, it's all laid out in a manner in which that they might consider doing it at home.
He made the actual selling space much bigger than an ordinary 18th century shop.
Yeah, they could actually mill around
say,
inside.
My goodness me, I want to have those plates, I want to have that soup tureen.
Yeah. What Josiah did was to say, no, what we really need to do here is create a space to stage the merchandise.
These shops drew crowds that caused traffic jams. Wedgwood and Bentley pioneered the kind of retail experience we know today. Comparisons have been made with a modern design genius.
What Steve Jobs did was to take an existing concept or an existing product and just make it much better. And I think that could also be said of Josiah. Even when it comes to imitating thousands of years old pieces of pottery, he would actually take good ideas, but work his magic and his aesthetic qualities and make that the recipe for success.
The Age of Enlightenment brought huge changes to the world, and Josiah was personally behind quite a lot of them. But I think the change that meant most to him was that the humble craft of the potter was now perceived to be a fine art. When they carved his epitaph, they said he converted a rude and inconsiderable manufactory into an elegant art.